wing walking for me is a quest for excellence, but it's also freedom in its truest form. But when we speak about freedom, we need to understand that freedom is only one side of the coin. The polar opposite is responsibility. So while I am out there questing for this perfect harmony between me, my aircraft, my pilot, my environment, I am also living the absolute freest moment of life. When all I am focused on is the excellence of my next handhold, my next foothold, the rest of the world disappears. And that is liberating beyond all conceivable belief. But it's also coupled with the responsibility that you owe your pilot for his safety, that he owes me for my safety, that we owe the audience for their safety. I call it finding the state of grace.
AOPA keeps flying safe, accessible, and fun by protecting your freedom to fly. We are the most trusted one-stop resource for all things related to general aviation. Become an AOPA pilot today.
I'm Pilon. I happen to be the owner and head wing walker for Third Strike Wingwalking. Today we are at the Aero Ottawa Gatineau Airshow edition 2023. I love wing walking, and I ended up forming my own team in order to enable myself to continue to be a wing walker. And this is the result, Third Strike Wingwalking. So Third Strike Wingwalking is currently comprised of myself, Pilon, team owner, lead wing walker, Joseph Bender, who is solo pilot, wing walker, Kelly Garvin, who is also a wing walker, and Stefan Trischuk, who is the pilot for the wing walking routines. How this setup works is, first of all, we have to do the logistics. I show up at an air show with this airplane behind us in a trailer. I then proceed to assemble that aircraft. Then my team joins me. We do test flights with it. Then when we're ready and satisfied that the assembly went well, we go and wing walk. And wing walking for us is simple. I take off on the Javelin, and then we're airborne. Once we get a little bit of altitude, we do a few aerobatic maneuvers with me in that position. Then my pilot graciously pulls back the power so I don't get prop blasted. I traverse across the lower wing spar, through the cockpit, and up into the upstairs stanchion. Then we can do a whole bunch more aerobatics when I'm up there. What I have to do is understand that my body is going to be harder to move, but also the really important part about being subjected to G-loads is that all the blood that's in the top of your head tries to go to your toes. So you absolutely have to do sequential muscle contractions throughout your entire body, so that when you get to the bottom of that maneuver, everything is and you're just a brick. Currently, the dual wing walking act is a flat show, but what it does is it really displays the actual wing walking, because every time the airplane turns around, there's a transfer pass with the wing walkers being made, one side or the other. When I do my routine, there's only the one transfer. And if you miss that transfer or you've got light in your eyes, you've missed the whole wing walking routine. My routine is an aerobatic solo routine. And the reason we don't do aerobatics with two wing walkers is the extra weight really impedes the aircraft. And also, the pilot's got enough to worry about with two moving people out there without including the added dynamics of doing aerobatics. I love being able to affect people with aviation. I love being able to reach out and grab them. Not everybody understands this beautiful aircraft that just finished flying behind us and its military relevance and the history of it, but they sure get it when there's somebody walking around on the outside of an airplane wing. No explanation required. Normally when I'm out on a wing at an air show, I am so concentrated on my next handhold, my next foothold. I'm questing for that perfection. But now I've been doing this for a while, and I do actually tell myself to take the time and enjoy it. And one of the most blissful things that you can live in life is when you're standing in the top stanchion and the pilot does a perfect loop. It's like if you lift your head up and follow the loop, there you find yourself magically suspended above the world while it slides underneath you. It is poetic. It's like a compulsion. I am driven to do this, and I'm driven to succeed. And it makes absolutely no logical sense. I could be out doing any other job in the world, getting paid more money, being maybe as fulfilled, I don't know. But for me, this really isn't a sensical thing or an emotional thing. It is almost like an addiction. But I'm a human being like any other person on the face of the earth, and I am completely fallible in all of my aspects. So while I quest for excellence on a daily basis, I find that I often fall short and try to pick it up and do better the next day. You can quest for excellence, but you can't fall into the belief that you are excellent, because that leads to complacency and messing it up. Because I mentor new wing walkers, the qualities I'm looking for in them is really physicality, agility, strength, determination. Because what I'm looking for is not somebody who wants to have fun. I'm looking for somebody who is willing to commit their lives to wing walking. Well, you need to understand, now I have a whole team. The fear I used to have was about missing my start time or missing a good camera angle or not making the front page of the newspaper. Now I literally have people's lives that are depending on me doing my job well. That is the whole fear factor for me right now. The actual wing walking is not scary to me. It never really has been. But just the fact that I have all these people trusting in me, trusting in my aircraft, it's sobering. It is a huge mantle of responsibility. And you know, the day I stop being afraid, I'm gonna quit. I have to be. I could literally turn a wing walker out in less than a week. With 10 wing walks under their belt, they can go ahead. But the only thing that they'll be able to do is hang on for dear life. With the program I've made, I can actually keep them with me for years if need be. And I can teach them everything about the business, about media, about contracting, about safety, maintenance. But literally what I'm doing is I'm giving them a safe place to perfect their artistry before they're forced out in the world to compete against their peers. But it really is a lifetime commitment. And it's not only a lifetime commitment. Like I said, I can train a wing walker in 2 weeks, but I've given you nothing. I am 23 years in as being a wing walker, and I'm still learning every day, and I'm still perfecting my artistry. And I believe that if you're going to be a wing walker, that is what you have to commit to it. If it's been an awesome routine, I'm more thankful than I am full of energy. I'm more at peace inside than anything else. If it's a terrible routine, I like to go and yell at my pilot while we're debriefing. And sometimes there's no time to react because I've got to turn the airplane around and get my other show going. I rarely have time to savor the moment anymore. But when you find that state of grace and you've done that perfect routine, my God, what a place to be.